Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Train Sim Classic video. And today, we are back on Union Workshop's Wakayama and Sakurai lines route set in Japan. And we are in the JR West 103 series electric multiple unit, and we are here at Sakurai, and we're heading down to Gojo with a cab reversal at Takada. However, yeah, this is a sad day because this is the last video I'll make before I leave the UK. So, yeah, sad times really. So yeah, we're here at the lower platforms. The upper platforms are for a different operator, which I think is which is like a private operator. I think it's called Meitetsu or something like that. I'll have to look it up later. That heads up to Osaka, that direction. So yeah, we'll parallel them for a bit. Anyway, let's unpause. Yeah, and let's hop into the cab of our 103 series. So reverse forward. Oh, I should probably turn the HUD back on. Let's put the brakes to notch 1. Open the doors. Instrument lights on. Then we gotta go turn that on. So then we can use the front headlights. There we go. Yep. There's a 105 series, which is the other drivable train on this route. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. So, yeah. This is one of the default scenarios that comes with the route, if you're wondering. So, hopefully, we'll have announcements. Also, we have working destination blinds, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we also seem to have a driver in the other end. He's probably just modeled that way. Yeah, this route was released almost 10 years ago. It was the first non-fictional Japanese route in the entire game, entirety of Train Sim Classic, and I am of the opinion that it's still one of the best routes, Japanese routes in Train Sim Classic. Yeah, as you can tell it's an older route by these really annoying lens flares. The abnormally bright headlights and these stupidly bright lens flares. Thankfully, that has been patched in more recent routes. I wonder if there's an interior on this place. Looks as though we do have some city buses. The translation of that is Nara, the prefecture, and then bus on the right. So, yeah, carefully avoiding any licensing issues, I can tell. Looks as though we haven't got across a bridge, annoyingly. And also, I think we do have some views from the back, which we do, which is quite nice, along with some advertising. Oh dear. Yeah, you can definitely tell that they're advertising their older stuff. They're advertising Story of Forest Rail there and the Shanghai Maglev there, which at the time this was released were their only two other products. Nowadays, their catalog has grown to be a lot bigger. Just under 10 years later, they've even got a product for Train Sim World pending, the Tadami line, but which hopefully will be a Train Sim World 6 product, but I'm not getting my hopes up too much, because frankly, they're quite a small team, only like 2 people, and they've been working on it for ages. So yeah, this is like a more rapid, high speed, rapid, not like high speed as in bullet train, but rapid service up toward Osaka, the big city. And then yeah, and then this chappy here is the 105 series, which is the other drivable one, which is heading toward Nara, which is south of here, I think. So we might be going onto the line ahead of him. There's a ton of default scenarios included with this route, and there's also quite a few more you could get on ye olde Steam Workshop. So yeah, let's just wait for the doors to close, then we can be off. Yeah, apparently this route is set in the mid 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. Mid 2000s. Yeah, so we get the both the 105 and the 103 series have been retired nowadays.
万葉まほろば線経由普通列車次はかぐやまです
Frame rates are not too good. Alright, next is Kaguyama. I do love the worky announcements. And if you do it right, if you're making your own scenarios, you can set up the scenarios via the good old scenario editor. I haven't figured out how to do that, but if you know how to do that, then you're good. Alright. We're clear up to 80 Ks in a minute. Also, by the way, I am using third rails to track my train trip today. Oh my goodness, try saying that 5 times fast. And if you're on Steam for either Train Sim 5 or Train Simulator Classic, and you run the 64-bit edition of Train Sim Classic, then I highly recommend you check it out, because it's basically like it logs your trips quite nicely and it's brilliant. This is not like I'm not sponsored or anything. That's just me. I just like need to give the developers a shout out because they've made a pretty awesome product. Also, yeah, if you have not got this in TS Classic yet, go and get it. Like, there's a pretty decent Steam sale going on right now at the time of recording, and you should go get it, like 100%. Alright, let's start getting some brakes on. I almost forgot to do that. Alright, yeah. You do have to keep an eye on your stops. Level crossing. Let's put it to notch 1. Alright. Mr. Announcements Man should be coming on soon. By the way, these aren't authentic JR, Japan Rail West announcements, as unfortunately, well, you can't just ask, unfortunately, Union Workshop have not been able to procure a JR license at the time of recording. So, how long are we today? I think we're 4 cars. Yeah, we're 4 cars, so we gotta look out for the 4-car stop marker. There it is. Oh, yeah, and we missed it, but hey, at least we got there on time. Alright. Okay, welcome to Kaguyama. Let's put the brakes to notch 1 just to hold us. Okay, so there are multiple views. Okay, let's do the central one since that's easier to position the camera and you get to see more. And there's also a route map as well, which I honestly did not notice before. They got an authentic route map, obviously without any JR branding to it, but they got a real-life one. Nowadays, the 103 series and the 105 series have been replaced by the 501 series electric multiple unit, which is ironically the one that runs in my area under the Ishikawa Rail and Ainokaze Toyama Railway branding. Not under JR, unfortunately. JR actually stopped doing the local services when the bullet train came through. Come on, buddy. Let's get moving. Apparently there is a thunderstorm on the way, so let's go. Beans. Okay. I don't have to, but I do like blowing the horn on these things. Yeah, it's definitely getting darker. I did change my brightness settings in TS, so hopefully it doesn't look too weird. Let's get a good fly past shot, why don't we? And then I think the barriers go up on these things, right? Yeah, they do. That's so cool. Alright. Next stop is Unebi in 1.5 kilometers. Yeah, the traffic also looks pretty authentic. Like, they can't use licensed traffic for obvious reasons, but it still looks very authentic. Yeah, it looks as though we do have a little hill. So yeah, in the Sakurai line, this side is nicknamed the Sakurai line. However, it is actually the JR Manyo Mohoriba line for some reason. I don't even know what that means, man. Alright, start slowing down. This hill should probably help. The reason we have to go up is because we have to cross over a busy road, National Route 165. So, and we also have to slow down for the 45 limit, so I'll have to take it easy. Oh, nice bouncing there. Yeah, it's definitely getting much darker. Alright, slow down, buddy. Oh, let's go notch 3 on the brakes. Notch 4. Yeah, that's a 3% downward grade, but to be fair, the 103 series handle it brilliantly. I must say, if you're wanting to get into Japanese routes and you have no idea how to do so, this is the route to start off with, because it's probably the most complete, one of the most complete packages you could get with a Japanese route in TS. Because you've got announcements, you've got 2 excellent electric multiple units that are reasonably good to drive, you've got some challenge in the forms of the grades. Alright, brake. Yeah, I think we went too far with that one. I'm still getting used to this thing. Let's put the brakes to notch 1. Alright, Nebi. Oh. I'm the only person, I think I'm one of the only people to have ever driven a Japanese train on third rails. The vast majority of people on third rails just drive in Britain or Germany. But to be fair, I do that as well. Give us beans. Alright, so what's our next? Oh, Kanahashi is our next stop, according to Mr. Announcer there. Yeah, normally the driver would be doing the announcements, but yeah, it's just automatic. Yeah, don't know why this is glowing so brightly. But wait, this thing, okay. This is so cool. This thing actually displays what your next stop is. It displays the kanji for your next stop. I never noticed that before. Another reason for you to, if you have TS, go out, get this route. You will not regret it. Apart from, there are a few performance issues, but nothing I can't handle. Especially around busy stations. Let's get power down a tad. Also, I do need to remind myself to get a screenshot at some point. Also, because I'm in Japan, I have to keep to the timetable. So, I love how the sound changes when you're going over a bridge. Yeah. Going over a bunch of little rice field roads, a river. The scenery looks like, by modern TS standards, is completely, like, outdated. The assets don't look too good. But I honestly could not care less, really, as long as the scenery does the job of being there and representing it in... There's a parking garage off to the left. As long as the scenery is there and does a good job of representing what is there in real life, then I don't care. Oh goodness. If we go too fast, the ATS system will kick in and say naughty naughty. We just went under where a expressway bypass will be. But yeah. Okay, we gotta slow down. Come on! Oh no, I might have to put it into emergency. This is not good. Right, that's emergency. Come on. I was waffling and didn't notice. That's tea and biscuits for the manager. That is absolutely tea and biscuits. Oh my goodness. At least the rear two. Oh, that is so tea and biscuits. Oh no. I'm the one who claims to be an expert on Japanese trains, and then I drive them like I stole them. I don't think I've had such a big platform overrun in a while. Dang it. Alright. Alright. Come on, buddy. Let's get going. Next stop is Takada, which is where we will swap ends.
次は高田です。
Takada is like the biggest station on the route by a considerable margin. I know it's displaying like controller things, but that's just because I've got a stupid controller plugged in. So yeah, gotta go into Takada, platform 2, we'll then reverse and head south. Yeah. Come on, buddy. This thing accelerates pretty quickly, it's just braking that I don't like. Looks as though we do have some European reused assets. This factory here doesn't look very Japanese, but as I said before, I don't really care as long as it does the job. Yeah, I love how this thing changes to show the next stop, and it shows it's a local. That means it's a local service. That's the next stop, and that means it's full cars. Brilliant, in my opinion. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, you can tell our performance is gradually diminishing as we get closer to Takada, because that's a... Yeah, I don't really get why the route is this heavy on the old performance, since it's a 10-year-old route at this point, and if anything, newer routes should be heavier on the performance. Like, I'm looking at you, Tokyo commuter, Keihin Tohoku and Utsunomiya lines. Shut up. We were overspeeding. That's an overspeed. And it'll do that all the way to the platform. It'll do that all the way to the platform. Sorry about that. Shut up. Just manually, I'm just hitting my ATS button. That's so annoying. Why? Sometimes, yeah, I just didn't slow down fast enough for the AWS. AWS, that's British. For crying out loud. Let's get Dodge Rod of brakes going. Here's Takada. Come on, buddy. Yeah, what I'm really looking forward to is Kitauchi Station, on, which is, I think, the last stop before Gojo. That is a weird, and I mean weird, station setup. Thankfully, in the modern day, they've changed it, but... Alright, there we go. Open the doors. Right, we gotta shut down this cab, so instrument lights off. Headlight master switch off. Reverser to middle, and brakes to shut down. There we go. Change cabs, reverser forward, brakes to minimum, instrument lights on, and there we go. There we go. Headlights on. We're clear for the next trip to Gojo. I love the reversal that you have to do at Takada. Like running from Sakurai to Gojo or vice versa. The way you have to change cabs. Absolutely great. I'd love that. Yeah. One thing I do find a tad annoying though is that the 105 series, despite being playable, only has 2 scenarios in the base route. Annoyingly, like you have to basically get Steam Workshop if you want a Steam Workshop made ones. If you just don't want to play 2 scenarios over and over again. And that's one reason I prefer Trains of World. You have an entire 24-hour timetable to run off of. Whereas in Train Simulator, Train Simulator runs better and has far more content, there's just less stuff to do with each route because you don't have scenarios. Even if, like, Steam Workshop scenarios are alleviated a bit, but not that much. Let's see if we can find... Oh! That is the gold leaf temple in Kyoto, called Kinkakuji, made using gold leaf sourced from the area where I live. That just a fun fact there. No, come on. No. If I go, yeah, I think going here is the only option. Actually no. If I go here. Alright. Next stop is... I'm not sure actually. Yamato Shinjo is our next stop. Yeah, trouble... Alright, 35 limit coming into force pretty soon, so yeah. See what I meant about performance issues? That's 20 frames per second on a 10-year-old Trains and Classic route. That is not that good, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is seriously not good. Ugh. Anytime this button lights up, you're going over the speed limit. And it's fair. You have to be very careful. So yeah, there goes Mr. 105 series up the Sakurai branch. And now we are going on to the... Yeah, now performance has got, like, basically doubled. Alright, come on, buddy. Alright. So yeah, Yamato Shinjo is the kanji for our next stop. Oh, it started to rain. Let's get the wipers going. Oh my goodness, 2 level crossings back to back. Oh, it's because it's coming off an expressway, that's why. Alright, come on, buddy. Beans. Wow, that was a loud thunderclap. It made me jump. Holy! But just went under the another Meitetsu line. Yamato Shinjo in 1.8 kilometers. Sorry. Yeah, it's definitely raining. And under the Yamato Takada bypass road. Come on, buddy. .500 meters, let's start getting some brakes going. Alright, where's Mr. Announcer Man? Has he stopped working? Surely not, right? If Mr. Announcer stops working, that'd be terrible. Never mind. Do notch 4 of brakes. So it's basically the brakes are released, not brake, and then has notches 1 through 7. Hold, which oh, I just put them in emergency because the brake handle's way too dang sensitive. Sorry. Darn it. Well, let's... Yeah, like, the brake handle is very sensitive. This is a nice looking station, I must say. You know, we gotta be here for a bit, so might as well take a look around. So yeah, authentic station signs, if a bit low quality. It's like we do have a bit of a waiting room. Nice. Yeah. Very good detail overall, and even the houses and stuff look very good. Yeah, there's yours truly, looking very Japanese, but I suppose that does work. Right. Next stop is Gose.
次は5世です。
There are a lot of level crossings on this line, I must say. Approximately 2 kilometers to go. I think it's stopped raining, so I'll shut the wipers off. Sorry. Alright. 900 meters, let's get... 900 meters, I think it's stop faster than that. Start getting a couple of notches, like a couple of notches of brakes going. Alright, I'll slow down to 45 since otherwise the ATS will have an absolute cow at me because of the next
まもなく
speed limit.
5世です。お出口は左側です。
We're actually early! Dang! I'll consider that a success. We're actually running early. March 7. Ah, it's so easy to go from max service to emergency. There we are. Still looking... Those are a lot of broody storm clouds, that's for sure. One thing that does ruin the immersion slightly is that there aren't any passengers on the seats. I know in TS Classic they don't often look that good, and the animation is often very suspicious, but yeah. I still like having even static 3D model passengers in my passenger compartment. Yeah, I'd say we've covered about a third of our total trip so far. The trip from Takata to Gojo is much longer than the Sakurai branch. Just release the brakes in preparation for going. Let's give her some beans. Tamade is the next stop. One thing that I gotta give the Union Workshop developers absolutely huge amount of credit for is that when they started development on working on giving us Train Sim Classic content, there were no materials of any kind for Train Simulator in Japanese or Chinese, which are their native languages. So, gotta give them huge credit to working out how to make content for this game, but also doing an absolutely superb job on the somewhat limited amount of content that they've released. It's really a case of quality over quantity. Like, I think there's only how many? Like a very few, maximum 5, 6 Train Simulator Japanese and Chinese routes made by Union Workshop. So the fact that we have what we have is nice. Hang on. I think I want to try and get a screenshot. Actually no, I'll probably do it further up. With these houses in the background. There we go. So now we can... Oh. There we go. I need the HUD in order to take the shot. So if I just zoom in... There we go. Let's get the whole train in frame. And take the shot. There we go. Alright, Tamade is coming up. We're definitely getting into more rural areas now. Alright, shut down the power, apply some brakes. Yeah, and also another slight annoyance I have with this route is the horn doesn't loop. It just plays a short tone. Ooh, how close. Yeah, just the cab. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, I presume the station is for that little village over there, which is not that big. But then I suppose there are a lot of rural lines. Here in the modern day, it looks as I'm looking at my map here. It looks as though there's an expressway that cuts the sides right across here and goes off that direction. But yeah, this time period it hadn't been built yet. Just making sure third rails has the correct information. Wait for the brakes to release.
次は脇上です。
Let's go. Wakayama is the next stop of the day. Yeah, just before we get to Wakayama, the speed limit goes back up to 80. Can't wait to show you guys Kitauchi and the absolute... it is the most needlessly complicated station. On probably any train simulator route I've encountered to date. I'm not kidding. Alright, 80 limit coming into force in 200 meters. But we don't care about that because, well... Got a yellow. Alright, we're coming into the left-hand platform. Any trains coming? I don't know.
まもなく脇上です。お出口は左側です。
Where's the 4-car stop marker? Come on. 4-car stop marker. There it is. There we go. Max service. Onto the brakes. Yeah, it's still very dark. Oh, I forgot to release the brakes to notch 1. Yeah, after this the route starts climbing a bit and getting into mountainous sections. But yeah, it's basically pretty mountainous running all the way down to Gojo. Also, what do you think about more Train Simulator Classic content on the channel? Please let me know if you like it, because, yeah.
次は吉野口近鉄線はお乗り換えです。
Yeah, so basically what that guy just said at the end was, if you want to get off for the Yoshino line, I think it is. Yeah, please get off here. Alright, we're clear all the way up to 80. Yeah. These I'm not surprised this line was electrified. This unit is making absolute light work of these gradients, that's for sure. Let's do like a proper fly past, why don't we? Yeah, we're definitely starting to go uphill. Yeah, I'm just having to use like notch 1 and 2 to keep up the grade, let alone notch 4. Yeah. So basically we just have to, yeah. Yoshinoguchi does offer a changeover to the privately operated Meitetsu Yoshino line. Oh my goodness, is this going to get steeper? It is going to get steeper. Holy! Also, by the way, if you're wondering what track gauge we're on, it's 3 foot. It's the Japanese standard 3 foot 6-inch gauge, or 1046 or 67. I think it's 67 millimeter gauge. How's the frame rate? Yeah. Oh yeah, we're overtaking cars. That is realistic, by the way. Like, the speed limit on this kind of road would be like 50 kilometers an hour in real life. That's, yeah, I think we're paralleling National Route 309, which is that road on our right for now. Oh goodness. Shh. Everything's fine. Let's get notch 2 running. Yes, there's Yoshinoguchi. There's the Meitetsu line coming in from the left. There's a 105 series waiting to go up to Takada. Nice.
まもなく吉野口です。お出口は左側です。
There's Mr. 105 series. Where was the stop marker? There it is. So, max service. There goes the 105 series off to Takada. It's just, yeah. So this is, yeah, so over here is the JR West platforms. Over here is the Meitetsu platforms. So yeah, 2 different operators, 1 single station. But then again, a lot of Japanese private rail operators are often fully or like have a majority ownership from the government. So it's not as if they're really different companies. You have a green signal, sir. Oh, okay. You're stopped. Gotcha. Ooh. One thing I do want to check is, do I have automatic ticketing machines in this thing? Doesn't look, okay, it doesn't look like it, but it looks as though in the 105 series there are, yeah, there are ticket machines. Those red things are ticket machines. Right. So what are our stops left? Kitauchi and Gojo are our stops left. Kitauchi has a really bonkers layout, so can't wait to show you. It's so weird. I don't know why they built it like that. Thankfully, in the modern day, the station has been entirely rebuilt, so it's much more of a conventional design. But in this era, this Kitauchi station is just the weirdest, most bonkers layout I have ever come across. It's just odd. All right, let's punching it to Kitauchi, and we do have a speed limit reduction to 60 kilometers an hour. Yeah, it seems to be the station assets themselves that are causing the low frame rate for some reason, despite them not being too detailed. Wonder why. There goes the National Route 309 crossing this little river valley that we're running along. There goes the Meitetsu line. Off into the distance there. Yeah, and we start going up again. So yeah. This line that we're on is the JR Wakayama line. If you're wondering. We now start getting into much more hilly country from here. It's get a lot more isolated. And yeah, I think I'm going to take it as a screenshot because why not? Yeah, I know it blends in with the background quite well, but hey. Ah! My mouse wheels just about had it. Come on. Nah, that shows up too well again. That doesn't show up too well against the background. Never mind. Ah, wrong button. Ah, right, another wrong button. Oh yeah, that's way too much zoom on the drone camera. Oh, goodness. That's a 2.6% grade. Come on, power. Yeah, 2.7. That's actually pretty steep. I'm surprised there's even a railway here in the first place. So there'd be something like in... Yeah. This is like a rural line. It would 100% be... If this line bus is such a vital artery for passengers, there probably wouldn't be a railway here. If there had been, it would have closed like in the 50s. Up the hill, buddy, come on. So yeah, Kitaochi is the next stop. How's frame rate? Meh, not too good. But hey, it's still more than playable. Is that a red signal? Surely not. No, it's just... Oh, it's a level crossing. Lol. We're crossing out... That's Prefecture Road 120 we're following at the moment. And yeah, it crosses over right here. No cars waiting at the barrier, that's weird. How long have I been... sorry about that. How long have I been recording for? 48 minutes. Okay, that's not too bad. Goodness. I think all of those trees are not helping my frames. 17 frames a second. Holy. Yeah, there is something to be said for optimization. I wonder if there are any tunnels coming up. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, look at how my frames improve when I'm not looking outside. That's a bit redonkulous, honestly. Oh, I misangled the camera. Hang on. There we go. So yeah, it's great. It's great going back to Japan because that's where I consider home. But I will be sad to leave the UK. Great country. Despite its flaws, but I can think of many flaws. Yeah, I'm having to use notch 3. Oh my goodness, 3%? 3.45, 3.5% upward grade. Yeah, I'm having to use notch 4 to try and maintain speed. I think this is probably the steepest area of the route, holy. thankfully it's... yeah. I can think of one route which really drives me up the wall when it comes to getting up hills. The Story of Forest Rail add-on, which is also set in Japan and also made by Union Workshop. Because that route drives me insane. Because like, you have a little diesel rail car that's just not built to handle the extreme slopes heading under the Gojo North interchange on the E24 expressway. Yeah, you'll see why there's a buffer in front of Kitauchi in a minute. You might be like, why? Hang on. If we're heading to Gojo, surely there shouldn't be a buffer after Kitauchi. Well, we have to go in like that, and then back up into this siding, reversal siding here, and then continue on. Thankfully, in the modern day, that has been fixed from causing it, because it just causes mayhem. So yeah, there's a reversal siding we'll have to reverse into. Come on, I have to slow down, otherwise the ATS system will give me, will cause absolute mayhem. Okay. Okay. That's the 35 limit. So yeah. Thankfully Kitauchi has been rebuilt to around there. So like, it got a complete rebuild, and the old stations and sidings, etc. were abandoned. You can still see the old tracks, apparently. There's 2 platforms here for some reason. I put it into emergency again. Goodness gracious. Alright. Let's have a look around, why don't we? So yeah, this absolutely weird layout. Like, coming in here, in there, reverse there, and out, and trains coming in from there. I have to go in there, reverse in, and then back. It's nuts. It's... who permitted this station to be built here in the first place? If it's just the... yeah, I have no word to how... as to why it is as bonkers is as it is. Alright. Release the brakes. Oh, I should put it in reverse, shouldn't I? Backward. There we go. Yeah, I will have to be exceptionally careful, because that reversal siding is... Alright, here we go. What about this end? Does it have tail lights? No, it has headlights. Okay. So, despite me being in this cab... Alright, easy does it. I know this is cheating, going into external view, but I don't care. I just want to get this right, because if I don't, I crash into buffers. And no one wants to do that. Yeah, look how weird this is. Why was this ever set up this way in the first place, is what I want to know. Like, why? Why? So yeah, once we get the front of the train past that signal, I'll apply the brakes and we can be off. Thankfully the reversal siding is quite big, otherwise we would be in trouble. Give her maximum service on the brakes. And put it into forward. Put the brakes to notch 1 just to hold us on this slope. And we can be off to Gojo. What a weird way to set up a junction. Like, what? Why? Why? Alright. Alright, we are clear to go. Okay. Shuten means if you want to get off for Wakayama, please get off here. And also he said Shuten, which means which basically means if you want to this is the end of the service today. It's the Japanese equivalent of the British. This service terminates here. All right, beans. Yeah, we're paralleling routes 24 and 168, which are off to. Oh goodness, we're speeding. Okay, ATS kicked in and we lost some speed, but okay, that was. Oops. Apologies. Oh, we do have a whistle board coming up. Well, yeah, I forget what Japanese whistle boards actually look like. Hang on. Yeah, it's basically downhill all the way from here to Gojo. Come on. Look how fast we accelerate. That is nuts. Whoa. Oh, that's the whistle board. Gotta keep an eye on my brakes. Ah, that's too far. Come on. Oh yeah, that's actually good. I like having the tree in there. Actually no. Let's let the train move a bit further. Oh, there's another tree. Okay, never mind. Oh well. Oh goodness. Come on. Yeah, it's so easy to overspeed if you aren't watching your speed like an absolute hawk. Alright, we do have a 35 limit coming into Gojo. Okay, I'll take that, but I'll take that under advisement. One thing I do like is how we're a tiny little single track and yet we're on a huge embankment. It's hilarious for me. I think I have an idea. If I just line it up nicely. Oh, the train's in shadow. That actually looks pretty cool. Okay, I think I like that one the best. Having the level crossing, railroad crossing, whatever it is, in the foreground is pretty cool. Alright, 700 meters to go to the Gojo thingamajiggly. The 35 limit, I should say. Let's just add notch 1. Actually, no, it's too early. I think at this signal, I should probably start applying brakes. Yep, and I still couldn't please it, of course. Please make sure to pick up all your belongings when you leave the train. Please watch your step when getting down to the platform.
5条終点です。
Yep. Probably one of the only people on the trade simming internet who's able to interpret those announcements. Heard them many times. There's another 105 series waiting to take over. My goodness, that's a lot of flange squeal. Holy. Yeah, I know the... Shut up, ATS. I know what I'm doing. I don't have a stop marker. At least I can't see one, so... Probably already shot past it, haven't I? Let's just go a tad further. Yeah, let's do here. Welcome to Gojo, everybody, after a pretty normal trip. Yeah, I think we gotta be here for a bit, so let's go have a look around. One thing that the 105 series has that the 103 doesn't is ticket machines that you use yourself. So, yeah, because there's no conductor on these trips. So you just pick... And there's often no ticket machines at these stations. So you'll have to use these machines to get your ticket in the first place. Wonder how much farther the scenery goes. Not much enough. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Typical TS classic route, really. Holy. That lens flare is so bright. What is this? What is this? Sorry. Oh, for goodness sake. Shut up. Yeah, yeah. Well done. You've just completed your first Wakayama line hard scenario successfully. Oh. That's probably if I do them in order, though. So yeah, let's hit close. And yeah, there we go. That is it for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, and thank you so much for watching.